Okay, so in case you forget or you need a refresher course on how to make comments for your students on your final report card, or even in the middle of the semester or at the end of the semester, it's a very easy process. The first thing that you're going to do is you're going to come to Power Teacher, right? So now you're in your Power Teacher, and you want to go to Power Teacher Pro right here. Once you get into Power Teacher Pro, there's a couple of things that you want to check. One, make sure you're on the right class, right? So you want to make sure that you're choosing what class you're on. Um, Secondly, you want to come down to settings. If you haven't done this yet, I suggest you do this and come into your comment bank. Okay, this is going to save you a lot of headache and a lot of typing things all over again. As you can see, I have a bunch of comments, a comment bank built already, and I have it where it says, the first name of a student is an excellent student, and I have a code here to tell me, what each one is. If it's an A student, B student, C student, D student, and you can name them however you want, whatever works for you. If you do need to add a comment bank, here's how you do that. You would just come up to add, and then you could just type in your code, whatever you want. So I'll just call this test for right now. Category, if you want to use this for the end of the year, you can put end of year, right? And then the comment is really easy. Insert smart text. So this is where it would take the first name of the student, and then you could just, it is a great student. And then what that person would see on the report card would be Susie is a great student. And then every student would have that, um, like their first name. So it makes it very individualized. You can do that. And it's going to yell at me. You can do that. You can also do some other things with this. You can actually come in here and do last name, first name, last name, first name. And there's a whole bunch. I stay away from these just because of you don't want to get into using a pronoun that the student may not use. So I generally just stick with first name to make it very individualized, but yet very generic at the same time. And that's how I would do that. So once you would make one, you would hit save, obviously, and then um, you would come into where it says A plus grading, and then you want to come down to comment verification. Now, if you have comments already made for students, um, like this is my students' midpoint, right? Comments for midpoint. You're going to see all these. What you're going to do is you're just going to simply come into each one and you're going to clear these. Um, Simply by just highlighting it and deleting it. Um, I'm sure there's probably a faster way to do that, but I don't know of one at the top of my head. Um, yeah, see, if you don't want to do that because now what I just did was I just took his grade away. So you want to make sure you don't do that. Um, but you want to come into your comments and delete those. Okay, that's what you want to do. You want to delete these comments. And I'm not worried about the grade changing because it's going to, as soon as it updates, it'll come back. It'll be fine. So then you just delete all these. You don't even have to. I mean, you can delete them if you want. You can come into your comment banks and just overwrite them. There's all kinds of stuff that you can do here. I delete them so that way you're not putting a comment on top of a comment. But I just, delete things, each delete everything, right? So I just delete these. So once they're all deleted, I'm not going to go through and delete all these. You're going to come into the comment, right? So this student right now has a 22% F. I'm going to come into my comment bank here and hit this little X blurb here thing up here. And then I'm going to hit show comment bank. That's going to show me all my comment banks that I showed you that I made, right? Um, and I can just choose whichever one I want. Um, so right here, right, year D and F, I can put that in there. Now what's going to end up happening is you can see, have a great summer, William, and enjoy your break, Mr. Colabelli. That's what's he's going to get um, as a comment on his report card. Once you're done entering all your comments, you want to hit save, and then once you're saved, then you're going to do your grade processing, but that's a whole different story. But you want to get all your comments in, hit save, and then you have to do that for every section of your class. So I would have to go back in and do it for the C section. I'll have to go back in and do it for the D and A as well. That's how you do your comment banks. If you have any questions, reach out to me. I can do a big blue button and do a share my screen and show you how to do this one on one if you would need me to do that. But all right, if you have any questions, let me know.